First group is Nihon Fukushi University Affiliated High School Japan and Honshan Municipal Girls and Senior High School Taiwan, please. Please welcome them with a big hand.
Good morning, honorable guests, teachers, students, ladies and gentlemen. We are from Taiwan Gusan Senior High School.
We are from Nihon Fukushi University High School.
Please enjoy our presentation. This is the world we live in. Here, we have some questions for you.
Are there many differences in the world? Yes, there are still many differences in the world, like religions. Religions are Buddhism, Christianity, and Islam. Race and colors. There are yellow people, black people, and white people. Also some poor people and rich families. What do we respond to these differences? We have prejudice, discrimination, injustice. Can we have a better embrace these differences? The answer is yes. All we need is inclusiveness.
So, what is inclusiveness? According to Cambridge Dictionary,
Inclusiveness is the quality of including many different types of people are treating them all fairly and equally.
for example, this is perspective of inclusiveness. You can get different value when you are able to see things from different angles. So, let's discuss the issue of marriage. What is marriage to you?
A. Princess. B. Gay marriage. C. Lesbian marriage.
Now, let's talk about power of inclusiveness.
What the power of inclusiveness? Now, let me present you the current same-sex marriage situation in Taiwan and Japan.
Now, let's see a situation in Taiwan. Taiwan has voted to legalize same-sex marriage. This has happened in May 2019. It also makes Taiwan the first place in Asia. A government-sponsored bill gives same-sex couples many of tax insurance and child custody benefits. Same-sex marriage in Taiwan became legal on 24th May 2019. This made Taiwan the first country in Asia to legalize same-sex marriage. From the perspective of the whole world, since 2000, many of countries in Europe, America, and Oceania have legalized same-sex marriage.
According to the survey, nearly 80% of Japanese in their 20 to 50 are in favor of legalizing same-sex marriages, but society still has a pull toward gay marriage, and this is no equality in relations. In some parts of Japan, open same-sex can be registered as a partner.
Now, let's take a closer at the issue of same-sex marriage. The picture shows us where same-sex marriage is legal. It's easier to understand the legislative situation and the friendliness of same-sex marriage is legal in the world.
So, why are the difference in attitude towards same-sex marriage around the world so huge? Studies shows us that a reason of often relate to three factors: economy, democracy, and religion. On one study holds that a country's economy shapes its people, shows us the same-sex marriage. Poor country in the terms compared to 1. They are more concerned about basic survival. 2. They are focused on group loyalty and tradition. On the other hand, rich countries are more likely to possess same-sex marriage. They are more freedom to choose their partner and lifestyle. Let's see the chart. Residents of countries where a low GDP per capita are more likely to say that same-sex marriage is never justified because they tend to focus more on basic survival rights.
What democracy can do? Democracy is play the role, encourage people to respect individuals' rights, regardless of whether they personally like the people being protected. Therefore, different people such as same-sex marriage are more likely to be recognized. Another factor is religion. 1. The majority religious faith of a nation has a huge influence on attitude towards same-sex marriage. 2. Most religious texts say that same-sex marriage is problematic. For example, people from Muslim majority nations are also opposed to same-sex marriage.
Conclusion: diversity and inclusion are about giving value to every human being, no matter or differences. In short, the attitude and policy of homosexuality in many countries are clearly changing and more tolerant. Inclusiveness makes us see the beauty in diversity. Let's embrace diversity and inclusiveness. This is our reference of our study.
The world we live in.
With a sense of inclusiveness.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Remain stage please, standing please. It is judging time. You have two cards. Blue card means polarity, and green card means novelty. Are you ready? Let's go. First down, please. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. Now we have a little more time, and we'd like to open up and ask the audience for questions or comments for this wonderful presentation. If you have a question or a comment, please raise your hand. Question or comment? Anyone? They're eager to answer your questions and give you comments. comments or questions about this very important topic? As a Canadian, I'm very proud to see that Canada legalized same-sex marriage in 2005. Could you take the microphone to her?
Thank you very much for your wonderful and powerful presentation. I enjoyed it, and your logic is very, very clear. And upon your well-analyzed question, presentation, I have one question, especially to Taiwanese people. Okay, your conclusion is that tolerance, in a meaning like economic tolerance, religious tolerance, leads to more inclusiveness. And could you inform us what make the Taiwanese society tolerant for the same-sex marriage? Could you refer to your religious background, cultural background? Thank you.
Can we say that again? That's not here, not clear. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. Okay, we learned that Taiwan accepted single-sex marriage, and which is outstanding decision. And your presentation from Japan, Taiwan says that religion, economic situation, or the culture, tolerance leads to inclusiveness. So, could you tell us why Taiwanese people are more tolerant to single-sex marriage? Or you can, Japanese colleagues can answer.
Because Taiwan has so many for different countries for people, yes, and so it's very free. How to tell? So we have to respect him. Same-sex marriage, same-sex marriage. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, yes. Any other comments or questions? All right, Jeff, maybe we have time for one more.
Thank you for a lot of information. It was very easy to understand. And I personally thought it was lacking in the thought of what we could do. And I want to ask the Japanese students, what do you think? We think that accepting gay marriage is a very good thing, but I don't think it will solve problems like bullying at schools or the low birth rates in Japan. And what do you guys think about that?
Sorry, one more, please. We don't understand.
高齢化の問題についての解決にはならないと思います。いじめとかの問題の解決にはならないし、日本では少子高齢化社会もあるのか、それについてはどう思います。私たちに何ができるかについての意見があります。
I think, I think we should respect individuals, so we have kind heart. We should have kind heart.
So it's important to have a kind heart and an open mind, like in Taiwan, to include everyone, not just straight, but also LGBTQ people. Okay, thank you very much for your answer. Okay.
Thank you. Please go back to your seat. Second group is Kobe University Secondary School, the affiliated senior high school of National Kaohsiung Normal University. Please welcome them with a big hand.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are Kobe University Secondary School.
And we're the affiliated senior high school of National Kaohsiung Normal University.
The title of our presentation is The Virtue of Inclusiveness,
especially when it comes to public society.
Have you ever heard of the flower hydrangea? Do you know what it symbolizes?
Of course, it symbolizes hope. And there's a saying that the people who are blessed with this type of flower are extremely durable and inclusive.
What does this flower have to do with our topic?
Inclusiveness is one of the virtues in human nature. The word inclusiveness seems abstract, but it's actually in our daily life.
Exactly. The reason why we choose this topic is because even though society is working on promoting inclusiveness in the world, but there is still a large room for improvement.
We're going to talk about 3 topics today: cyberbullying, public utilities, and backgrounds. Now, without further ado, let us begin.
She married a rich guy for fame. She had a complicated relationship with multiple guys. She smoked and drank excessively all the time.
Those heartbreaking rumors haunted Cindy Young, a 24-year-old high school student living in Taiwan, and eventually led her to use hydrogen gas to commit suicide.
Even though this kind of tragedy happens often, the number of haters on the internet never decreases.
Data has revealed that in Japan, more than 10,000 students have been cyberbullied every year, and around 300 of them have committed suicide.
Also in Taiwan, nearly 70% of students have either witnessed or experienced cyberbullying.
Despite the fact that the government have done a lot to prevent cyberbullying from happening, the phenomenon of cyberbullying keeps taking place on the internet.
To figure out this problem, we surveyed high school students from different countries. And the reasons for cyberbullying are the following. Firstly, victim doesn't dare to ask for help.
Secondly, bystanders on the internet are indifferent.
Lastly, the lack of inclusiveness, which is similar to our research. By doing this, we found out some solutions toward the problem.
First of all, if you're a victim, don't be afraid to seek for help. Asking for help is never embarrassing.
Secondly, if you are a bully, be aware that those awful words you spread online are going to kill a real person.
Last but not least, show our inclusiveness to others. Next time, before you post a critical comment online,
Wait for 5 seconds and think whether your comment is harmful or not. With a simple move we make the online world a better place.
So far, we discussed the responsibilities we have on self-internet, and now we are going to talk about how to show inclusiveness in our daily life.
Have you ever heard of priority seats? There are seats that stand for specific groups. And now we are going to illustrate the virtue of empathy instead of sympathy through the action of yielding priority seats. So what can we do? We think that it is important not to have the feeling of sympathy but feeling of empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feeling of another. Let's take a look at a current situation that happened in Taiwan. Have you ever seen someone yell their priority seats before? I believe the answer from most of you is yes. However, do you know that in Taiwan, some passengers will actually force others to yell the priority seats?
All of these news are similar to the situation. However, if we think with empathy instead of sympathy, these would never happen. In the UK and USA, you will likely be thought as disrespectful if others see others. In contrast, in Germany, if the passenger has the necessity using the priority seat, he or she will tell you straightly. Finally, these examples of yielding priorities tell us that the actions we should take in different societies vary a lot. However, all of them have one place in common, which is empathy instead of sympathy.
Please put this in mind, and maybe next time, when you see a young man sitting on the priority seat, instead of thinking,
how can he be so selfish?
You will change your mind into, I can't tell, but maybe he's shit. And this is a virtue of inclusiveness that can change the society.
We have discussed the virtue of empathy, and now we are going to talk about a current issue that many countries are now facing.
Have you ever seen this kind of scenes? Sometimes when we walk into the train station, we can see homeless people sitting on the hallway.
Although we always have the stereotype that vegans cause chaos among their surroundings,
we can only focus on the negative effects vegans might bring, but ignore the fact that vegans also have human rights.
Give the vagrants the sense of inclusiveness and give them a hand to turn the situation beneficial for society.
In 2003, the amount of vagrants had dramatic decrease in Japan. The government started importing related policies and offering offshore assistance like provide hospices and a job opening. Training vagrants is one of the necessary processes to improve their current conditions. By doing that, we can afford them enough college to face the economic challenge.
However, in Taiwan, the amount of vagrants is still increasing. The policies in Japan and Taiwan are particularly the same. We also provide the practical help, but what we lack is the encouragement from the majority. Therefore, we need to give them a hand and encourage them. By doing that, we can boost their confidence to step out.
Before we can see in this picture, there are two guys arguing about the amount of a stick. But both of them are correct. Just like people always stand in their own position to think about the issue. The vegan would hope to improve their life to working. But on the other hand, the other critics wouldn't want to approach them. We need to put ourselves in each other's place and think about the most appropriate solution. Instead of giving up strongly, showing the tolerance might be the first and the most important step. In conclusion, developing empathy and incorporating the vegan into society is a good way to make all of us have a sense of inclusiveness.
After the presentation about these 3 topics, we realized the importance of inclusiveness.
During the process of making this presentation, we learned to accept others' opinions and to embrace the differences between each individual.
The flower hydrangea is just a symbolization of inclusiveness, but it should be planted in everyone's heart.
That's right. Better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. We should stop the criticism and start taking actions. Now, please tap the person next to you and say, even though you are not perfect,
but you are still amazing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Remain on the stage, please. It is judging time, so please do not hesitate to read their presentation. Please raise your card. Here we go. Cards down, please.
Seem to have been close to 50-50, blue and green cards this time. All right, thank you very much for your enlightening presentation, Pat. Okay. All right, now we will open the session to some questions or comments. Also, please remember, in the afternoon, we will have an active learning session. So if you do have a comment or a question and you'd like to talk about it in a small classroom, a more intimate place, go ahead and save your question for then. All right, so can I ask for any comments? Any comments for this wonderful presentation? Oh, in the back, okay.
Thank you for your presentation. I am not good at English. I'm sorry. In the last slide of your presentation, maybe I saw put bra bra into your shoe.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm not good at English, so could you explain to me that meanings? Put bra bra into your. I couldn't understand. Yeah.
Oh, so the one that's the mystery.
My name is Nishi.
Mr. Nishi is talking about is put yourself in other people's shoe. It means that you need to put your empathy to other people because people were facing in different situations. You need to put yourself in other people's situation. So that's one of the inclusiveness that we are discussing about.
Maybe I can understand. Not all. My advice is to your presentation to improve. Please speak more clear and more slowly. For me, because I am not good at using English. I am not good at listening to English. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for your question, and it's really interesting question.
All right, thank you very much. So I think that we will draw this comment and question phase to a close. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please go back to your seat. Third group is Nihon Fukushi University and Royal University of Phnom Penh, Cambodia, please. Please welcome them with a big hand.
Hello everyone, we are from Nihon Fukushi University and Royal University of Phnom Penh. This is the overview of our presentation. First, I will talk about our motive. First of all, we researched the meaning of inclusiveness on the internet. It means that people have the same purpose and share the same values. We think about our actions from the viewpoint of everything in our life. When we were discussing global issues, the water problem came to our mind. We think inclusiveness. What we have done about the water problem and its solution. Next, let's look at the amount of water. As we all know, 2/3 of the Earth's surface is covered with water, but fresh water amounts to only 2.5%. Most of it is frozen and the rest cannot be used. So the amount of water we can use is only 0.01%. Now I will talk about population and water. Please look at the graph. In 2019, 9% of the world's population have to deal with water problems. In 2050, it will increase to 40%. Water shortage brings disputes, food shortages, and economic shortages. These kind of different problems are occurring around the world. Are there water problems in Cambodia as well?
Yes, there are also water problems in Cambodia. You see, in Cambodia, our major water sources come from rainwater, surface water, and groundwater. However, even with this plentiful water supply, we're still facing the issue of clean water shortages, particularly in the rural area. In fact, only 68% of the rural people have access to clean water. And the reason of this is because our water sources are either contaminated with viruses or we are lacking in infrastructure that can deliver the clean water to the rural people. But before we talk about what Cambodia has been doing to solve our water problem, let's see what the world is doing to solve the water issue.
I'm going to talk about what different countries around the world are doing to solve the water problem. Firstly, I'm going to talk about Singapore. Singapore, a country that is having a severe water shortage and imports 50% of its water to meet the demand. So they started this toilet to tap concept, or a company known as New Water, which purifies the water that's already been used. The other one is desalinated water. It is the process of removing salts and contaminants from the seawater or fresh water. Countries like Saudi Arabia, Libya, and Kuwait rely on this due to the lack of fresh water. It used to be expensive back then, but newer technologies have made it cheaper. And the last one is LifeStraw. LifeStraw is a small, portable water filter, as you can see here. It can simply decontaminate 99.99% of bacteria and parasites from water and guarantees it's fit for human consumption. Now I'm going to drink this dirty water with this LifeStraw. Oh, it tastes okay. Actually, it tastes like a normal water. LifeStraw was also distributed during this natural disaster, which helped many victims to have access to safe drinking water. As you can see, LifeStraw doesn't involve any kind of electrical energy. It can be used in any part of the world. Also, the LifeStraw employs a simple filtration system with no involvement of chemicals, and it's easy to use. So these are the things that different countries around the world is doing to solve the water problem. Can you please tell us what Cambodia is doing to solve the water problem?